It's time!
Oh yeah, it's time for Miss Lou Champion Sports Talk with me, Ronnie Calhoun, and the legend, Joey Martin. It's entertaining, informative, and sometimes a little crazy.
These two guys when I had hair.
For me, it was just all about being coachable, being approachable, being a good team guy, and being where I'm supposed to be when I'm supposed to be.
Where they getting the hair from?
I think they took it from his lower back.
Okay.
And they moved it to the top. Hey guys, before we get started, we want to tell you about our champion partners. Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Blue Chair Bay Rum, J&J Flooring and Natural Stone, Concordia Bank, and all of our awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them and tell them Miss Lou Champion sent you. Enjoy the show. All right, guys, we are back for another episode of Miss Lou Champions Champion Sports Talk with my man Joey Martin. How are you, brother?
I'm good, brother.
Doing good. You're doing good. We're brought to you today by Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, J&J Flooring and Natural Stone, Concordia Bank, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Blue Chair Bay Rum, and all of the awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Without our awesome partners, we couldn't do what we do. And as always, we're driven by Sango GMC. Go visit our buddy Mark Sanguinetti and his champion team over in Winsboro for all of your new and used cars needs. Also, I wanted, while we're mentioning partners, I wanted to say big congratulations to Scott McLemore over at Concordia Bank, moving into the big chair, I guess, the president, and Mr. Pat Big Lane on his, I guess, semi-retirement, because I don't think Mr. Pat's going to slow down too much.
No.
But I just wanted to speak before we get into the show, just a little bit about Mr. Pat for a second. Man, what a
super guy.
What a guy, man. What a legacy that he's created for himself here in the Miss Lou, and one of the nicest men that you'll ever meet.
For sure.
And just what he's done, what he's meant to that bank over the years, and will continue to mean to them for a long time. And I have no doubt that they really hit the nail on the head with Scott. He I don't think they could have picked a better guy to carry on that tradition. He kind of stands for all those same things that Mr. Pat stood for all those years. So just want to make sure to say thank you to those guys. And thank you to all of our veterans and our military men and women serving all over the country, all over the world. Without you, we couldn't do it either. Man, we got a champion show today. National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame member here in Natchez, Mr. Freddie Sandel.
You're looking forward to that.
They've got the banquet coming up on February 25th, I believe.
25th, yeah.
So that's going to be a big night. I went with you last year. A lot of fun.
Good time, yeah.
A lot of fun. And so I'm looking forward to that again. Hopefully we'll help them get their membership up, and we're going to get at least one because I'm going to join. So we're going to be at least plus one after today. But anyway, before we get Mr. Sand on the show, let's jump into a little sports talk, a little local sports.
Okay. We got basketball kind of winding down a bit, getting ready for playoffs, and just kind of looking over some things. The Natchez snowboarding team had a good outing this week. Okay. Happy birthday, Dustin.
Is this a joke? Is this a joke?
It was supposed to
be. You know what? I said all that before we get into sports. I said all of that, and I just ate one of the man's cupcakes. I got to say happy birthday to the man behind the camera.
Yes.
I had all these notes and didn't have that on my notes.
Dustin,
what a shame.
Dustin.
He's either 05 or 5. I can't tell which one of the balloons. We'll let the viewers decide which one that they think he is. It's either 05 or 50. But look, we pick on Dustin a lot, well deserved because he picks on us a lot. But we do want to say for all of our viewers out there, we get to come in here every week, crack jokes and have a good time, and interview some amazing people and hear some great stories. And Dustin's just on the other side of the camera having to put up with us every week. And he takes what we do and does his magic on it and makes us look great and makes it consumable. So we definitely appreciate you, Dustin, and we appreciate all the hard work back there. But enough about Dustin.
I know the food would be good because I knew Hannah would come through.
Look, I do want to say this. I posted a little thing about Dustin this morning on my Facebook page, and man, I look down and it's like all these people comment. I mean, just dozens and dozens of comments.
It's the Dustin fan club.
I was like, man, I didn't want him to get that much publicity out of it. Like, I don't want to go giving the guy the big head or anything. So if y'all see my post on there, if you've already commented, it's okay. But if you see it, don't comment anymore because this guy will get the big head on me. So. I'm kidding. Y'all show him some love.
And Big Brother's watching.
So, Joey.
Anyway,
let's get back to this. Let's get back to this semi-corny joke that you were making here about the Natchez snow team.
Yes. Okay. Getting back to the real sports.
Okay.
All right. Vidalia boys are 9-14, right on the edge of making the playoffs. They certainly need to get a few wins. Faraday boys 18-4, and they are number 2 in their division. Delta Charter 3-11, Monterey 4-11. Natchez boys are 13-8. They are second in 3-5A. AC boys having a great year, 20-5, 2-0 in district. Cathedral boys 10-12. And over on the girls' side, the Lady Vikings are 8-11. They're number 31, and there's 30 teams that go to the playoffs. So, you know, the weird thing about that is their game at Oak Grove earlier this month was canceled. And I hate that because they wouldn't have beat them, but Oak Grove, that would have been a lot of good power points.
You get points even if you don't win.
They got that 6'5" girl who's like number 5 in her class. She's a sophomore.
Why did that get canceled?
I think it was a storm that day.
Okay.
I mean, what else but weather?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Faraday girls are 8-5. They're 21 out of 20. Delta Charter 1-13, and they're still number 26. And top 24 go in their division. Monterey girls 9-6, they're at 21, and there's 26 that go in theirs. Natchez girls having a great year, 17-6, 5-1 in district, and Cathedral girls 17-7, and they've got St. Al tonight. So good luck the rest of the year. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, we're there. Almost playoff time. Any other local sports?
I don't about do it right now.
Okay, well, before making without making the viewers wait any longer, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back with Mr. Freddie Sandel.
Playtime, game time. Anytime is a good time at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. 'Tis the season for winning at Magnolia Bluffs Casino Hotel. It's always a good time. Visit magnoliabluffscasino.com.
Hey, Miss Lou, come visit us, Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On the Go Deli.
Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need.
Located at the corner of Highland Boulevard and Highway 61 South in Natchez.
Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff,
where everyone is family.
Guys, Ronnie and Shannon here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we're here at our amazing partners, Gregg Veterinary Hospital.
Gregg Veterinary Hospital has been providing comprehensive, reliable, cutting-edge veterinary services to pets in the Miss Lou since 2002.
They welcome pets of all shapes and sizes who are in need of emergency treatment or who require routine medical, surgical, and dental care.
Dr. Gregg and his team offer a long list of services, including in-house laboratory diagnostics, digital x-ray, soft tissue, orthopedic surgery, dental care, extractions, laser surgery, laser therapy, preventative health, and wellness plans.
And if you need grooming and boarding services, they do that too.
So call Gregg Vet today.
Hi, it's Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight. If you like what we're doing, be sure to follow, like, share, and even comment on all our content. Also, visit MissLouChampions.com to sign up for our newsletter and to receive other information, as well as the opportunity to receive some awesome prizes. Thank you, Miss Lou, for your continued support, and as always, have a champion day.
All right, guys, we are back with Mr. Freddie Sandel of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Well, all right, man. We appreciate you being here to talk about the upcoming event and the foundation itself. Joey, I guess we'll let you get the balls rolling today.
Sounds good. And this has always been one of my favorite events of the year. It's just a great time, and it's very rewarding, and it's just fun. A lot of good fellowship, good meals.
Yeah,
and,
thank you.
Yeah, this is 42nd. Is that right, Freddie?
That is correct.
Okay. So what y'all do is you honor high school players, student athletes who receive
right.
scholarship, and then recognize a junior high from
That's
each
correct.
school. I think it's 7, right?
Oh, well, actually, it's 6 now.
6. Okay,
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, you've got 3 from the Natchez area.
Okay.
And you've got 3 from
Gotcha.
Concordia.
I can never keep up because we add or
It
subtract.
used to be
schools.
7.
Yeah.
But Trinity closed.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
it
So
dropped back to 6.
tell us a little bit, how long have you been with this, Freddie, and how to get started?
Well, they got started, actually, the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame was started in 1947. That is by General Douglas MacArthur. But the Natchez chapter hasn't been here, but I think since 1982, I think is the year. Joe Fortunato had retired. He came back to Natchez, and he was instrumental in starting the National Football Foundation chapter in Natchez, and he called it the Miss Lou chapter. Okay. Now, I was working at International Paper Company, and I was in manufacturing, and the only spare time I had, I just wanted to go home. I was working 70, 80 hours a week. But after I retired from North Carolina, I moved back to Natchez, and this was one of the programs that I really felt strongly about, and I joined the the local Miss Lou chapter of the National Football Foundation, and that was in 2011.
Yeah.
So I've been with the organization since 11.
Yeah, about 15 years, 14 years.
Yeah.
And y'all have had some changes. I know it used to be the 3rd Thursday in February. Now we moved it to Tuesday. And of course, you've used the EOLA. When Joe owned the Magnolia Bluffs, y'all had it there. And now it's at across from St. Mary's. And it's going to be February 20th.
February the 25th.
25th.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Tuesday.
it's at the Family Life Center across the street from
okay.
the cathedral. But yeah, we used to have it, and it was a big event. We would go to the EOLA or different other venues. But we found here recently we can't afford to do that because Joe had deep pockets, and we could have a big.
And he had no trouble asking for money.
And no, he didn't. And when Joe passed away, and even after Alan Brown, who was instrumental in our organization, people just kind of, I don't want to say they didn't support us, but the support out there wasn't as great as when Joe and Alan were around.
Right.
And we struggled for years, and we finally had to downsize to keep the organization active.
Can you tell us a little bit about, I know we kind of briefly talked about it, a little bit more about the mission and what you guys do?
Yeah. What we try to do is recognize the scholar athletes from the local schools in Vidalia, Verdi, and Natchez. And there are 6 high schools in this area. And we just like to recognize those guys as being scholar athletes. And what we do is we have a banquet, and we introduce them to the people at the banquet, and even we write articles in the paper to let the, Natchez, Vidalia, and Verdi, this group, know who those guys are and what they do. We tell them what they do other than just play football, scholastically, in their community, in their church, or whatever, to let them know, hey, these guys are more than just a football player.
Yeah, so the kids that you guys are recognizing are what we call here on Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, they're champions not only on the field but off the field too.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That's right.
And what's the total scholarship money?
Usually it's $10,000, but sometimes when we rank them, and when I say we, Co-Lin, Natchez, they get their attributes, and they're the ones that judge 1 through 6. Okay. Sometimes when you've got a number 4 and a number 5, and they're really, really, it's hard to separate the two, then we'll kind of give them a little bit more. We'll call it a tie.
Yeah.
And give them, what the top guy gets $3,000.
Wow.
The second place guy gets $2,250. The third place gets $1,500, and the final three get $1,000 each. So when we've got two of them really close, let's give both of them second place.
Yeah.
And Jake finished second his senior year, and I'll tell you what, that helped a whole lot. So what y'all do is very beneficial.
Well, thank you. Now, we don't write the guys a check. When they get to school, then they go to their financial aid or their registration, and they let us know that they're in school, and then we send the money to the school, not the athlete, and then they go and buy their books, pay their tuition, or whatever else they need at the school. They just don't have money in their pocket. Hey guys, come on, let's.
That's probably a smart way to do it.
So I just want to bring that out because we don't write them a check that night and say, hey, here's $3,000.
Even champions get that little itch sometimes.
Yeah, that's right.
Give me a little burger here.
I've been in college and I know how it is. So.
Well, so many volunteers, but we have to mention also Catherine Fortunata and the year she put in making that thing go.
Yeah, Catherine is a saint. She really dedicated a large part of her year organizing. She did everything for Joe and Alan and the other ones. She really was the backbone of the organization.
Yeah.
And of course, she's moved away, and now it takes about 3 or 4 of us to do what she used to do.
To replace her one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Got to mention the speakers you've had. So many great speakers in the past, and I'm looking at a few right here. Some of my favorites. We had Clyde Ray Weber, Daryl Day, Paige Cawthorn, Ed Orgeron. I was sitting next to him during that year, and he was a hoot. He was just so funny. And one of my favorites also, Houston Nutt, Dan Mullen was really good. Thank you, man. And just some great stories. And
yeah, Larry Fedora, Ron Roberts, Hugh Freeze, Todd Cooley, Jay Hobson, Deuce McAllister, Tony Hughes, Archie Manning, Rocky Felker. I mean, the list goes
all
on
here in
and
Natchez?
on. All here in Natchez.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one of the ones who surprised me was Sylvester Croom.
Yes.
I really wasn't, he didn't seem like that outgoing, but he was outstanding.
He was. Every one of them, we've really enjoyed what the message was that they gave the athletes. And
right.
All of them have been just fantastic.
Last year was my first time to go, and I sat with Joey and Mr. Tony Byrne had been telling me about it, and I always love seeing Mr. Tony. Got to give him a shout out. Great guy. But he had been telling me about it, and so I went, and I really enjoyed. What was the guy that was speaking last year? I'm sorry, it's slipping my mind.
Oh, that was Steve Buckley.
Steve Buckley. He did a great job last year.
He did.
Steve he originally spent a lot of time in Natchez.
Okay.
His father was the Reverend Buckley at Parkway Baptist Church and other churches.
So he's got a little bit of that preacher in him. He can stand up.
He can speak well.
and 2 years ago, you had Tim Brown.
Yeah.
And now, this year, you're going to have his
son.
His son. Okay.
Ben Brown.
Yeah.
Ben played football for St. Al in Vicksburg.
Against Cathedral in the championship game.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And then Ben went to the University of Mississippi, and he lettered, I think, 3 years. He redshirted 1 year, and he left a year early because he went to the pros his senior year. And right now he's playing for the New England Patriots. He is their center.
Wow.
So he's doing very well. And I hear he's a really, really good kid. And I'm looking forward to his message to our young athletes.
Yeah, that's going to be great.
Now, when Tim came on, it was really good. You know, Billy Joel's old song, which I think Fall Out Boy did where he mentioned all the historic things that happened. Well, Tim updated that in his speech, and it was, I was like, wow, that's really cool.
Tim played some really, really outstanding football at the University of Mississippi. And he wasn't a very large guy, but he could get the job done.
Started out at Co-Lin, didn't he?
Yeah, he played 2 years at Co-Lin, and then he went to Ole Miss for 2 years and did very well.
I tell you a couple of other guys who were speakers. One of my favorites who I've talked to several times and wrote a book, Paige Cawthorn. He played at Natchez High senior year, and then he went to Ole Miss, and he's kin to all the pools. And man, he was very entertaining. Of course, we had Jerry Clower, which
That's right. Yeah. They've had some outstanding speakers in the past. And,
Wow.
And I don't want to say that we struggle getting speakers now, but we used to, Joe Fortunata, Alan Brown, they could call one of the D1 coaches and say, hey, come speak. And they will be here.
Yes, sir.
But now that they're not here any longer, you know, we go and we knock on doors and beg, and it's more difficult to get a quality, a D1 football coach.
Right.
They say, who are you? Well, I'm Freddie Sandel. Okay. I don't even get past the secretary.
But we have to talk about the golf tournament, which is a big part of y'all's fundraising.
Absolutely. Yeah, that is our fundraiser.
And that's going to be in May? Or?
Yeah, it's always the first Saturday in May.
Okay. And where's it going to be this year?
At Duncan Park.
Yeah. And going back to people they know, I used to have some really great guys as guests.
Oh, absolutely. And then unfortunately, we can't get those great guys anymore because we don't have the Alan Brown or, you know, the Joe Fortunata. And, but we get a lot of support locally from the University of Mississippi. Last year, I bet we had 5 teams from Ole Miss that came down to the tournament. It was
maybe now that that Ben Brown is back, I mean, he's nice enough to come speak, so maybe he'll bring some guys around in the future.
Hope so. That would be great.
Let's talk just a minute about how the scholar athletes are selected each year.
Okay. What we do is we get with the head coach and the school, and we ask them to select their scholar athlete. And he doesn't have to be the smartest guy on the team, but you know, he needs to represent the school not only academically, but with his football, you know, the way he played football, his leadership in his school and in the community. And the coach and the lady that
Guidance council.
The guidance council, that's what I'm looking for. They help make the selection, and then they give it to us. We've got a document that they fill out with several questions, and then we take that and we give it to the Co-Lin, and then they make a selection 1 through 5.
That's where they get the information from.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm a Viking, so I remember the last few years seeing some of the kids that were being, really before I knew what it was, whenever I first moved back, they were like, this kid's being honored and this and that, and they were all some really good kids.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys do that. And a couple of them, honestly, weren't the best football players. They were good football players, but they weren't the best. But they did, like you said, they did everything well.
That's right.
And they had a lot of heart on the field, even if they weren't the 4.40s and all of that. They played with heart.
Or 5'6" and 148 pounds out there with 220 pounders at 6'5". I've been there. I know that.
You know how it goes, huh?
Well, I know you don't like talking about yourself, but you won a major award through the NFFHF, and if you can talk about that.
Yeah, annually they have the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. They have a meeting in Las Vegas every year where they select their College Hall of Fame. And at that College Hall of Fame, they also select throughout the United States 6 guys from the local areas, and they bring them in and congratulate them, and they give us an award for being an outstanding member of the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame. And I was selected 3 years ago and got a free trip to Las Vegas, and that
That's
was
awesome.
really nice.
That's awesome.
And it was some really good people. And got to meet, well, I've met Archie Manning before, but got to sit down with Archie for over 30 minutes and talk to him. And then I lost my wife about the next day. And I couldn't find her, and she was talking with Archie for 2 hours. So, yeah.
Well, there's very few of these chapters in Mississippi and Louisiana. There's one in Alexandria and where
They've got one in Baton Rouge and New Orleans.
Okay. Does Jackson have one?
Jackson has one. The University of Mississippi has one.
Okay.
And Natchez, and I think that's it. They used to have one on the coast.
Okay.
Used to have one in Starkville, but I don't think they meet anymore.
It's tough getting members now, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Well, that's what that was actually going to be my next question: is how could people in the community become involved? Is it something that people can become involved with?
Oh, absolutely. I would love. Give me a name, and I will go see them and try to get them to join the football foundation.
Who would somebody reach out to? Would they reach out to you?
Oh, yeah. Reach out to me, or they can go over on the internet and just bring up the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame, and they have a form you can fill out to be a member, and it will give them my name or one of our other members' name to contact, and we'll go talk to them.
Okay, I did see on there where they have the different chapters listed, and I saw your name whenever you hit the Miss Lou chapter. I did see that. I think it had some contact information and all that. So we'll try to, Dustin, we'll try to find it and put it on the screen for people.
Well, thank you.
What about?
How much are the tickets? I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
They're $20.
$20.
Yeah.
So can the general public come to it if they would like?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, we give each member anywhere from 5 to 10 tickets, and we go out and try to sell them.
Okay.
And we've never sold all of them, so anybody that wants to come, you are more than welcome. And if you can't find a ticket, just come. We'll be at the door, and you can pay your $20 at the door. And I have to say that all of the money, after we pay for the food and the banquet room and everything, all of the rest of the money goes to the scholarships.
Okay.
And these kids do
make
not
a nickel,
know.
nor does anybody else from the organization make a nickel.
The kids don't know where they finish until the banquet.
That's right. That's right.
That's kind of neat to see that
Yeah,
happen.
and that's one reason we go to Co-Lin, and they have their team that grades them 1 through 5, and they seal it. And I'll be honest, I look at it before, but nobody else sees it until banquet time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we give them a plaque, and I have to get, the reason I look at it is I have to go get them a plaque. And
So if somebody wanted to become a member, how much is that per year? Is it a monthly fee or is it a yearly fee?
it's an annual fee, and I think, it's every 2 years. I think it's $100
Okay.
to join. That's not too bad.
No, that's
and the money goes to the scholarships for the kids.
Okay.
And operating expenses for the headquarters, which is in Dallas, Texas. They have that's the headquarters for the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And you have people cook the food there, and the fish the last few years has been awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and as I said earlier, we would go and cater it, but we got where we were spending all of our money, giving the banquet, and we couldn't do that because our membership and our golf tournament, we just don't make the money we used to, so we had to cut some corners somewhere. So we got our group together and said, let's do our own cooking, and that really, really helped us. Now we actually make about, we cover our expenses plus scholarships plus maybe $10 or $15, and it's right there. So we have to be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that fish, whoever did it last year, they did it right.
Yeah.
Well, they'll do it again this year. Y'all are more than welcome to come and join us.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be there. I'm going to sit beside Joe if
There
he'll let
you
me
go.
sit beside him again.
I
don't know.
guess.
Yeah, and I'm really interested in seeing Ben Brown and listening to what he's got to tell these young men.
Yeah.
Me too, because I mean he's got a pretty cool story with being a college star, but I think he's a free agent, correct?
Yeah.
He went undrafted free agent.
He was at Seattle. He's been about 3 or 4 teams.
That's right.
Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Seattle, and then I think kind of settled in at New
Raiders,
England now. Yeah.
Well, Las Vegas.
Okay,
was
wow.
Out there a couple of years.
Yeah.
A year.
Of course, he has relatives here too, and that's a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the future of the foundation here? What would you like to see happen in the next 5 to 10 years with our foundation?
Well, I'd like to see our membership grow. And unfortunately, it hasn't grown in the last 3 or 4 years. It's just hard to get new members, people who want to help and work.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing is the membership. Because without the membership, then you'll see your group just kind of go away, and we can't have that.
And if you had to do a little member pitch, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what would you, if somebody were to call you, what would you tell them?
Come join us. You'll have a great time, especially at the golf tournament. And you just wouldn't believe the things that happen at the golf tournament. I mean, we pull guys like Ole Miss. We've had some from Mississippi State and from Vidalia, Faraday, Natchez. And they're a great group of guys. They just really have a good time.
Yeah. We'll see if we can help get a few new members on board. I would like to join for sure.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I would like to join. I'd do that today or tomorrow, whenever.
Okay.
Or at the banquet, whenever we need to do it. Joey, what else you got?
Well,
here?
I can go ahead and mention this year's nominees. High school, Lionel Scott of Faraday, Landry Freeman, Delta Charter, Bryson McCraney, Vidalia, Fred Lane Cathedral, who we had on our show. Aiden Roche of Adams County Christian School, and DeJuan Colbert of Natchez High. Junior high, we've got Enrique Miguel Garza of Vidalia, Deontay Woods, Faraday, Tayton Fife, Delta Charter, Peyton Connolly, ACCS, Dalen Berry, Natchez Middle School, and Grayson Tospin of Cathedral. So great lineup there.
Wow. We're looking forward to meeting these young men.
I know quite a few of those kids. There's good kids in there.
Oh, yeah. And we also give out 2 awards to locals, the Distinguished American Award and the Contributions to Amateur Football. And we, as a group, sit down and discuss nominees, and then we talk about them, and then we make a selection. And usually, well, actually, we'll do that next Monday at our final meeting before our banquet.
That's awesome. I remember that last year. I remember a couple of guys getting those.
You had Ken and Sue Beasley, I believe it was.
Yeah. They were selected 2
2
years ago.
And Newt Willis, I think. Was
Yeah,
also.
Newt Willis.
Yeah.
He was selected last year.
Okay.
The Distinguished American Award.
Okay.
Well, Joey, we got anything else that you want to get to before?
I think
Mr.
we've covered
Sandel out
most
here?
of it. Freddie, anything to add?
No, I'd like to welcome everybody to our banquet and our golf tournament. We need the support. We would love to have you come out and play golf with us. And that's always the first Saturday in May.
Okay.
Good weather. Just a quick recap before we let you out. The banquet's going to be right down the street from where we're at now at the studio, at the Catholic
Family Life Center.
Family Life Center right across the street. February 25th. What time is it going to start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. $20 from a member or at the door.
That's right.
And you get a fish with that, right? Correct?
Yeah, you get a fish plate, dessert, and you get to listen to Ben Brown give a talk.
And just for, I know the women out there are going to want to know, what's generally the dress and all of that?
Just regular
Like
dress, no big dress code.
Okay.
People just,
Business casual?
business, or just what you would regularly wear to church or out on the street.
Okay.
There really isn't a dress code, just.
I've seen him out on the street.
Well, wear clothes, we'll put it that way.
Oh, goodness. Well, man, we appreciate you. You got anything else, Joe, before we get them out?
I think that's good.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Freddie.
Well, thank you, and we really appreciate it also because we not only need the membership, but we need people to help us.
Yeah, we're gonna boost this video and try to get it to as many people. And look, I challenge you guys, if you're watching this, $100 membership to help an organization that honors kids who are doing the right thing. That's a small price to pay to do something good in the community, and you get something out of it. So I challenge you. I challenge everybody out there to join. Let's help get their membership up. Let's help make the Miss Lou chapter the best it can be.
Thank you.
And set the example for others. I want people calling you going, what are y'all doing down there? Y'all's membership's going up.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you won't find a better week the whole year than this, and then your brightest stars.
Oh man, yeah,
right
it's coming up soon.
so
That's right. That's right.
It's two huge.
That's right.
Some of these kids make 35 and 36s on their ACT. Oh, it's just amazing how smart some of them are.
It really is.
I got my 30s, but I took it twice. So combined 30s. Oh goodness. Well, Mr. Sandel, we appreciate you coming in and talking to us. And
I thank you for inviting me.
yeah, so we'll see you soon. We'll see you on the 25th, and we'll see you guys right after a quick commercial break.
Hey y'all, it's Ronnie and Shannon with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight.
And we want to tell you about our awesome partner, J.E. Hicks Distributing Company, also known as Hicks Chicks.
Hicks Chicks is a local, family-owned food distribution company that has been serving the Miss Lou since 1945. You already know they serve all of your favorite restaurants, but did you know that they are also open to the public?
Hicks Chicks has a variety of food products, including delicious heat and eat options like chicken and dumplings, white bean chicken chili, lasagna, and gumbo. They also carry a wide variety of seafood options like shrimp, crabs, tuna steaks, salmon, and catfish.
And don't forget about their delicious burgers that are already pattied up for you, and their amazing dessert options.
So stop by today at 1380 Martin Luther King Jr. Road in Natchez. Hicks Chicks.
Way more than just chicken.
Hey guys, Ronnie Calhoun here with Miss Lou Champion Spotlight, and I want to tell you about our awesome partners, Wardo's Po' Boys. Wardo's was created in honor of Alan Ward Granning III, fondly known by family and friends as Wardo. In 2019, the oldest brother of the tribe passed away unexpectedly. His remaining siblings and loved ones wanted to honor his memory in a special way. In 2022, Ward's family decided to combine the need for a sandwich shop in downtown Natchez with a desire to pay tribute to Ward's love of good friends, good times, and great food. Through blood, sweat, tears, and countless hours of hard work, Wardo's was born. So go visit Wardo's today at 309 North Broadway Street in Natchez, where the po' boys are so good, you'll swear you're in Cajun country. We want to tell you about our champion partners, Gregg Vet Clinic, Hicks Chicks, Syrah Technologies, Kenny Chesney's Chair Bay Rum, J&J Flooring and Natural Stone, Concordia Bank, and all of our awesome partners that you see on the screen right now. Make sure to do business with them and tell them Miss Lou Champion sent you. All right, guys, we are back. The birthday boys bossing us around again. Man.
Never happy.
Not even on his birthday. Oh, man.
You couldn't find anybody better to work with. We know that.
What a great segment with Mr. Freddie Sandel.
That was fun.
That was a lot of good information, and I really have an appreciation for what those guys do and honoring the young men in our communities. So what'd you think about that?
Yeah, and like you say, the people who run that thing, and Freddie certainly right among them, it's all about the kids, and it's all about everything but them. And Freddie is such a great organizer, and just, he doesn't want any of the credit, but he deserves a lot of it.
Who are some of the other guys? I know my buddy Walt Brown.
Walt Brown, Tony Byrne, and
Tony.
Quite a few. There's Joe Willis has been a big part of it, and they got a whole lot of
A lot of
volunteers.
A lot of good guys.
One thing I wanted to kind of go back over, we were mentioning some of the guests in the past, and one of them was Paige Cawthorn. And Paige, I talked to him back in the 90s. He wrote 2 books when he was at Ole Miss. About his time at Ole Miss. And Wobble Davidson was the freshman coach. You know, they had a 9th grade team. A freshman team back then.
JV.
And the freshmen would play their own schedule. And Wobble Davidson was just renowned for being a tough coach. And he's got some great stories in that book. The thing about Paige Cawthorn, he's ken all the pools and all that. He was a kicker. And it's kind of funny because we had Cloyce Hinton, who's from around the same area. It was a great kicker. But Paige...
Ole Miss, right?
Yes, he went to Ole Miss also. And Paige's 2 books... Walk Carefully Around the Dead was his first one. And an academy called Payne. But Paige was the first New Orleans Saints to sign a contract.
Wow.
Yeah, that's quite an accomplishment, or quite a highlight there. And he had to go with Charlie Durkee, who was a pretty good kicker back then, and he kind of lost out to him. But Charlie Durkee's dad made a steel shoe for his son to kick with, and that later got outlawed. So it's kind of a fun deal. But I remember going through and reading Paige's book, and he talked about how some of the hazing that went on, or the initiation when he was a freshman, and stuff you'd get thrown in jail for nowadays.
Oh my goodness, I can only imagine.
And he also talked about that Steve Spurrier was actually looking at coming to Ole Miss as a player, and Ole Miss was his first choice, but his dad, who was a preacher, called Ole Miss and said, "Hey, look, is there this so-and-so kind of church around y'all?" And the coaches got together. Well, no. So he went to Florida. Or Steve Spurrier would have been at Ole Miss.
Wow.
Yeah. Some neat stories.
You know, he was right there, interviewed for the LSU coaching job back in the day, too.
Right.
I want to say it was him, Mike Shanahan interviewed, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Absolutely.
And then we ended up going with, was that Curly Hallman? Was that a different? Or Arnsbarger. So it was somewhere in that period.
Right.
But
Spurrier was really upset about not getting it, too.
Well, he beat the mess out of us quite a few times after that to prove a point.
And speaking of which, you saw Nick Saban coming out and finally say one of his biggest regrets was not staying at LSU.
Yeah, I saw that last week.
It was very interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, man. There's a story that a lot of people that I know who are very connected with the football team, at least back then in the 2000s, they swear that his agent called LSU and said, "Hey, we're coming back to college. Our first choice is to come back to LSU." And I think Miles had went 11-2, and they were like, "We can't fire the coach."
Right.
And they said, "Well, we thought we'd ask." And, the rest is history.
Exactly.
Because I remember I heard that story before he went to Alabama, and I just remember thinking, Fire him out, bring him back. Like, what are y'all doing? Who cares if he went 11-2? Like, you can see the writing. He's Les Miles and he's Nick Saban. Bring the guy back. Tell him, "Hey, man, we're going to pay you to leave. Thank you for what you did. We just gave you a nice little resume booster. But in saying all that, we're going to let him go back."
Right.
Yeah, but whatever. It all,
It all works out, yeah.
But yeah, so I saw that recently. And then just kind of wrapping up the show on the college front, we'll wrap it up with NFL, but just wrapping up college. Ohio State finished out the year strong. Yeah. Getting beat by Michigan did something to them that flipped the switch, and they went on kind of a little, historic type run at the end. I think I saw where they won every game by an average like 17.9 or something like that. They deserved it. People talk about the payrolls, and I'm not an Ohio State fan at all. I don't think I've ever rooted for them, ever. So I'm not an apologist or anything, but I do see people going, "Well, it's the best team money could buy and this and that." I'm like, who cares at this point? They're all doing it. Yeah. They just, I'm one of those guys, tell me the rules and let's go. Yeah. Whatever the rules are, everybody's playing. Like,
still got to win it on the field.
Yeah, they had a $20 million team or whatever they want to say, but so did Texas A&M a couple of years ago, and they didn't even make a bowl game, I don't think. So, I give those guys credit where it's due. they went out and won the games that mattered, and they kicked butt when it mattered, and they played their best when it mattered. And we're all hoping to be the $20 million team that has all the athletes. So that's the name of the game right now. And as long as LSU's playing it, I mean, we're all playing it. So congrats to them. Hopefully next year, I don't know, hopefully they'll get this Wild West stuff. But I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. But we'll get into more of it next year. Wrapping up, NFL playoffs. Man, what a performance by Jaden Daniels.
Oh, my goodness. Incredible.
I mean, to go into Detroit as a rookie, so many fourth downs, several fourth downs, many third downs, just one after another.
Yeah.
Just looking like he's in total control.
Yeah, I was not expecting that at all. I don't know. But, hey, talk about playing your best at the right time. They're doing as well.
There's a couple of things. I don't know if you've been on, you probably have, but LSU has this room. I don't know if they do it on the regular tours, but they've got this room in the outdoor facility over there. It's a virtual reality room. Have you seen that?
I have seen that.
Yeah, and that room's unbelievable. They got that huge wall, and the guys the quarterback, they said Burrow would do it a lot, go in and put those glasses on, and they could basically put any defense that they want up there, and they can turn it up with different speeds and all of that. And they said that Daniels would turn it up to like 1.75 or something like that. And so he was just training his brain much faster. And then so I think that helps him slow down. And then I think the other part of it that helps him slow down, they said, do you get nervous and this and that? And he said, look, I leave everything up to God. So I just go out and have fun, and everything's up to God. So I really think that helps him throughout the pressure. He said, why would I be stressed?
Yeah.
He said, God's got me. Whether we win or lose, still got the same God. And so I really like that. But I do think that between the virtual reality, turning it up, and his faith, and just going through the process like that, you can tell he's playing at a much slower pace. His body's playing fast, but his brain is slowed down, unlike any rookie I think I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he's processing things very quickly.
He is. And, even in the preseason, the coach was going, we can't believe how this guy's catching on to everything.
There were several announcers going, why are they talking hyping this kid up so much? They're setting him up for failure. Like, be quiet about how great he is. But
there it is.
And less than 50% chance, I would say, that they win this weekend. Against a very good Eagles team in a very hostile environment. But, I mean, at this point, you never know.
I don't count them out for sure.
At this point, you never know.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, the Bills-Ravens game, man, that was a beast of a game the other night.
It was.
And the Texans, I thought, played pretty well against the Chiefs. They hung in for a little while. But who do you have in the Eagles-Commanders? How you see that?
Well, our track record.
Not good. Not good.
So, right? Okay, Dustin. Thanks. Anyway, I'll go. I'll go. That's enough. I'll go with the Eagles. But I think it'll be a good game.
Pick the Ravens.
There you go.
As soon as the Ravens got beat the other day, Dustin's texting us, glad I don't listen to you guys. All we can say is glad you don't too. But, I think that game will be close, but I could just see the Eagles. They've just got more talent on the team. They have a better roster. I could see them wearing them down over time. But it wouldn't shock me to see the Commanders pull it off at this point. Chiefs and Bills, I'm a firm believer. I don't know why I believe this. Probably crazy. Dustin will be texting me Sunday at whatever time this game is over. But I'm a big believer that the Bills are about to win this whole thing. I think that they're about to take the Chiefs out and win the whole thing. I think this is their year.
You know what? I'm going to go with you. I think Josh Allen has done everything but win, and I think he's due. And they're rallying around him. And the Chiefs, at some point, you're not going to get the calls, and you got to wonder about all this, how it's playing on them mentally,
Yeah. Well, I think my phone says that the Bills just got a 15-yard personal foul penalty. So already. So
Roughing the passer.
I stole that joke from a SportsTalk show I heard the other day, but I thought it was pretty good. They've already got a penalty. But yeah, I look back to those days with the Bills. I guess what was that, the 90s?
Yeah.
With 4 straight. And, man, just as
close.
a Saints fan, I can relate to just being disappointed over and over and over. But they've had some great teams
They have.
during that period.
Jim Kelly,
but
bless
they've
his
just
heart.
never been able to do it.
Right.
And I've got several buddies who are big Buffalo fans, and you got to like the Bills Mafia or whatever. They're
Right.
craziest people in football.
Can you imagine them down in New Orleans?
Oh my goodness! So I'm pulling for them, and I'd love to see them in the Commanders, but them and the Eagles would be a really great game. But I'd like to see them and the Commanders.
Well, you know the NFL's pulling for the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. But anything else you want to add, NFL, college, or anything? Before
That ought to do it.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Again, we want to say thank you to Mr. Freddie Sandel for coming in and talking to us about the National Football Foundation and College Hall of Fame, and looking forward to that. Again, I encourage you guys to watching this to. It's $100 or whatever he said it was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's help keep this organization strong in the Miss Lou. They're doing good work, and I encourage people to come out to the
banquet.
banquet. That's gonna be a great night.
It will. It always is.
So thank you, Joey, for all that you continue to do in the community.
You too, bro.
With the paper and everything. Go pick up your copy of the Concordia Sentinel when you finish watching this.
There you go.
And thank you to all of our amazing partners out there. Again, without our amazing partners, we can't do what we do. So look at the list that we always tag them every show, and do business with them where you can. And God bless everybody out there watching this. Stay warm, stay safe, and as always, have a champion day.